Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right, that is all for the disclosures. We are crude has actually gone one and done this morning. Down, that's going to be a full stop out. So that's off the table. And now along, with the Russell being kind of fickle right now. YM is flat. There's a long trade on the YM. Start market is open. There's money management on the YM and target. So that's going to be a one and done session. Stop at 599. And we stop out at 607. Micro Russell with a long trade. I'll have to look back and see if any of that activity is valid trades. We are at money management, and there is target for trade number 1. So we'll move up to target 4 is our next goal. Trailing stop now at 80.4. Pound Aussie is in a short trade. Unleaded is in the long trade. That was a stop and reverse. We were long. Actually, no, we weren't. Yeah, I would have adjusted around that swing, so it would not have been in that long. Would have been in this one. Oh no, that's 8:50. So we aren't to start time yet. We do get in sync with that long trade. Stop and reverse to short, stop and reverse back to long. YM did nicely. That's done, so I'll move unleaded up there. Micro Russell trade has stopped out. Soybeans, where are we here? Okay, yeah, that hit. Wow, no, that did not hit target. You got a 1 tick break even, and we set up a new short, which we're in. That just hit target 1, so this will be a power quitting trade. Our trade was target 1 was a tick above target 1, so that was not a POQ trade. We didn't get any targets out of that, just the 1 tick. So we ended up with 1 point on the 1 tick trailer. Let's say that's 1 tick. Yeah, 1 tick. Target 2 in hand. And we're not to our start time yet on the micro Russell or micro NQ. Micro Russell with another long trade. Short trade. This big trade got to target 1. So that stopped out at break even. So we have a win. Yeah, that one would have been avoidable, I would expect. Too fast right at market open. So we're in the long now. This one's got a little bit of a wick too. Target 2 is actually going to be a gold target here on this trade. So targets 2 and 3 rather than 3 and 4. Targets 1 and 2 in hand on soybeans. Unleaded in its third trade. Crude was done on the first trade. Hit target 1 on the nose, came back, stopped out for 1 tick on the second position. That's a full loss, or that's a loss anyway on micro Russell. And that's another. Let's see if we're in that now with a long trade. You got to see where that is. Short entry is 8, so we'd have been at 4. And yeah, it did tick us in. So full loss, now going to long. So we go win, break even, loss. Two losses. So we're in the long trade. And this one is a standard target 3. Soybean stop moves down a tick, 90 3/4, and we hit target 3. So 9, 14, and 20 ticks, and 43. So that's 9 3/4 points. Now I got another stop move, 90 1/4. 9 3/4 points on the targets. A point for the prior trade. 10 3/4 points. I'm sorry, 10 3/4 points on targets. 11 3/4 now with the prior trade. And we are at 80 and a half on the trailer. Entry at 91 1/4. I'm sorry, 89 and a half, not 80 and a half. 88 and a half now. Two 3/4 points on the trailer. It looks like we're about to pick up some more on the trailer. 87 3/4 probably. And that's a third loss on Micro Russell, ends that session. Looking for our first trade. We're in trade time frame. Stop and reverse. Another stop and reverse on unleaded. This one will be $14. Three stop and reverse losses. We're into trade number 4. Micro Russell is complete. Micro NQ hasn't had a trade yet. Soybeans at 86 3/4. 4.5 points. And stopping out at 86 3/4. 3 1/4 below 90 and 1 1/4 above 4.5 on the trailer. Gives us 15, 16 1/4 points. $812.50. Pound Aussie taking heat. Unleaded in the short. Pound Aussie in the short. Soybeans is done. Crude is done. Unleaded in the short. Micro NQ is flat. Soybeans is complete. And Pound Aussie in the short. So, well on the way this morning. And look for the 10 a.m. crude mini session. Micro NQ is going through session lows and continuing to set new ones. YM also down at session low. That's unleaded at session lows. Let me look what the YM was. YM's basically, yeah, it's right around the session open. pretty neutral today at this point. Micro Russell's in negative territory, halfway between the session open and the session low. And there is a long trade on the micro NQ. That did trigger in. All right, micro NQ. It's busy there. And we took a full loss. Didn't trigger the short. Entered a new long that went target 1 money management. So that's a break even. Now it came back to a short. That was a full loss. So that's 2 full losses. This is still a valid long trade. So we're in this trade. Trade number 4. We hit the stop before hitting the entry. So that's why this is still a valid trade. Unleaded stops and reverses again. This time we've gotten to money management and target 1. That's not where the money management or break-even stop is going to be. And I'm going to $41. That's going to be $46 for the entry. So 86.47 will be the stop at the moment. Target 2 wins. So target 1 and target 2 achieved. Win on micro NQ. Targets 2, and target 3. Almost target 4. Trailing at 26,015 3/4. Pound Aussie still short. Still 8+ minutes to our crude session, 10 a.m. mini session. And there's a stop move on unleaded. Comes up to 86.49. All right. Stopped out. Yeah, stopped out on the trailer on the micro NQ. Nothing new there. Yeah, that one was too early. Full loss on the first long. No trade on the second. Break even on the third. Full loss on the fourth. Fifth trade is a win, so we have 2 losses. Wait a minute. 1, 2 losses. Break even is 2. Loss 3. This is 4. Trade 4, excuse me. 2 losses, a win, and a break even. Potential stop and reverse on pound Aussie. Entry 102, so that would be 106. So that's still going to be in the short. The stop and reverse adjustment. Unleaded, trailing nicely. 86.98, 86.98 or 99, 98. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth trade was a win. We'll take one more. I'm sure we're not positive yet. Micro Russell moving up significantly as well. 20 points from where we were trading already. Pound Aussie tracking the long, but we're actually still in the short. Stop and reverse adjustment. The adjusted entry is that yellow line. We are in the 10 o'clock crude mini session. That's a get in sync trade. And there's the trigger. So we are in the short trade for the 10 a.m. crude mini session. All right, micro NQ, I kind of lost track of there. That's probably avoidable. First bar was 1 second. So I'm going to assume that trade was avoidable. This long trade, 14. That one's not avoidable. That's going to be loss number 3, and that will end that session. Before we get actually, oh, yeah, that one did trigger. That's loss number 3, no trade there, and then a win. But session is done. Bring the unleaded chart down here, back where it belongs. All right. Stop and reverse to long is canceled. And there's a new short. We're still in the original short. Stop and reverse hit its stop after hitting the unadjusted entry. So that trade is off the table, and we are still in our original short. Short on crude. Long setup on unleaded. If this triggers, it'll be the last trade of the day. This one's still for everybody because obviously we're still negative in both trade plans. Hasn't triggered in yet. I'm going to need to take this. One moment. All right, back again. All right, let's see where we are. All right, we've got money management, and looks like target one on the final unleaded trade. Crude is still in the short, but taking heat, testing the 200 EMA. Pound Aussie is still short, and everything else is done. All right, see where we go from here. See if we can get target two on unleaded here. It would be nice. That's probably going to mean that the crude trade stops out. See where we go from here. Oh, almost got to the stop on crude, now pushing downward again. Unleaded stop comes up to 39. Let's see where we go from here. And crude stops out. Unleaded moves up again. 87.49. Pound Aussie right back at the entry again. Crude is flat. Crude is flat. Unleaded is still long. Pound Aussie is still short. Let's see where we go from here. Not much going on today. Pound Aussie kind of oscillating back and forth between about 105 and 070. Unleaded moving the stop up again. This is the final trade, so doesn't matter where it ends up. This is it. This is the end of it. Crude sitting just above the 200 EMA. See if it turns. It's trying. Looks like it's trying to swing upward. Pound Aussie stop has moved up to 754. Subsequent short trade on Pound Aussie stopped out, but our stop is still up at 087. Wait, no, it's at 113. Excuse me. Yeah, there we go. And good morning. Running into the end of the session. Unleaded is in a long trade. Its final trade of the morning. Taking one trade of the 10 a.m. mini session. It was a full stop out. Pound Aussie is short and has been most of the morning. Avoided the stop and reverse to long. So we have remained short. All right, there's a stop move up. 87.69 on unleaded. All right, unleaded coming very close to target. Target was 87.98 and got as high as 87.97. So I definitely would bring my stops moved up to 772. And I would excuse me, bring the position stop up to target. Well, okay, it just went through target 2. So we pick up 40 or 62 on that. Trailer moves up again to 87.79. Pound Aussie, even though we're tracking flat, is actually short. All right. And we stop out at 779. So that ends unleaded. Haven't gone through the numbers on that. 2 solid winning trades. 48 and 60. So we got 110, at least 110 ticks on the targets for target 2. We got trailer of at least 40 and a trailer of midway between almost 40. So we're looking at almost 180 ticks on those 2 trades. So we're not too far negative. If so, 4 stop and reverses and then 2 wins. The 6 trades. We're looking for a new trade on crude for the 10 a.m. session. We are still short on the pound Aussie. There's a long trade on crude. That would be trade number 2 if it triggers in. Small trade going to target 3 and 4. Hey Jay, stream starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's Eastern time zone in the U.S. So right now we're in Eastern Daylight Time. Next week we'll be on Eastern Standard Time. Our time change is, of course, this Sunday. So normally 9:30 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Crude oil inventory report normal Wednesdays at 10:30. When we have a Monday holiday, I'm not going to do a crude oil inventory session because the inventory report is Thursday at noon in most cases. Jay, which trade plan or which strategy are you working with, or are you working with the CEO Mastermind group? Okay, great. I he's not hasn't got a training on CEO Mastermind, CEO Trader Mastermind this weekend. He's traveling back to the U.S. So I think next Tuesday. Personally, depends. Actually, kind of depends on your account size and what your experience level is. I think the better strategy at this point is probably cloud control. And if you're going to do cloud control, I'd suggest coming in for Mike's trade room on Zoom. That's Monday through Friday. They actually open up at 8 and trade gold, but the crude trading on cloud control starts at about 10 minutes till 9. So try to come in about quarter till 9, and that would be a good. Okay, that's a fairly good starting point. What market are you looking to trade, or have you gone through begun to go through the 12 steps that Troy promotes? And I think if you're brand new in CEO Mastermind, I believe you have a boot camp this Saturday. Okay, what market have you identified? Troy mentioned when he did the office hours on Monday morning that he had a boot camp scheduled this Saturday. I believe I believe he's getting back into the States today or tomorrow. He was in Madrid on Sunday or on Monday, but he was, I believe, leaving Wednesday. Okay. Russell E. Mini is a good choice. That was just something that Troy had mentioned. He didn't go into, from what he said, it sounded like it was for new CTM traders, new CTM members. You should have received an email about it, but that's supposed to be this Saturday, as far as I understand. I am not showing a cloud control chart in here at this point. I've got to tear down and rebuild my NinjaTrader setup. And something got corrupted, and I can't load new strategies at this right now. So I'm still going with everything before cloud control. All right, crude did enter into the long. Yeah, so you certainly my charts are pretty much duplicates of what TradeStation is. I always want to say, use your own charts. I'm using Spotlight for crude, unleaded, YM, and the pound Aussie on here. I'm not trying to trade all of these live. All right, Josh. I am John. But my strong suggestion is anytime Troy puts up information about a session that he's going to be doing live, do everything that you can to be there. I've been working with Troy's strategies for a little over 10 years now. I started early 2015, so almost 11 years. But even now, anytime I'm available when he's doing a live session, I'm trying to make sure I sign in for it. All right, there we go. Money management and target 1 on crude. So that one is worth 14 ticks, and target 2 for 18. So 32 ticks on that trade. And our initial loss was 50 ticks. So we're still down 18. Our initial loss was 25 tick risks, 2 positions on my charts. Go through the so what I would suggest is make sure you get signed in to the owner's site and get access to the, let's see, you're looking to do Russell E. Mini on cloud control, or yeah, Webbull and Fidelity are not going to. Fidelity, you could do this on Fidelity. You just use TradeStation or for that matter NinjaTrader for your charts, and then just trade on Fidelity. I'm not that familiar with Webbull or Webull. Okay, there are trade plans for several different markets in each of the strategies, so I wouldn't worry too much with that. Yeah, unfortunately, none of Troy's strategies are coded for TradingView. All of his strategies are coded for TradeStation and NinjaTrader, and some of them for MT4. I came into it as a customer of Interactive Brokers, so that was one of the major reasons I chose NinjaTrader, is that connected directly to my Interactive Brokers account, so I could trade right on the charts and not have to go from the charts to a trading platform or what have you. I would definitely look at your choices on at least on look at the cost side. Uh, my experience with between I haven't used TradeStation, but using NinjaTrader and Interactive Brokers, I know my commission and fees round turn are lower than TradeStation. I wouldn't say it's any more versatile. I can actually I will say this: there are positives and negatives to both TradeStation and NinjaTrader have their strengths and weaknesses. There are some things in NinjaTrader that I really like. There are some features from TradeStation that I really wish I had in NinjaTrader. But if I would have to basically start over with new accounts doing NinjaTrader or doing TradeStation, because they're also the broker. Or I would, if I didn't have a brokerage account with them, I'd have to at least park some money there to keep from having to pay fees to use the platform. Now I've paid fees I paid for the NinjaTrader platform, but I did that a number of years ago, and that certainly paid for itself. But yet that is part of the part of the calculation. It will take some time for that to pay off in the lower commissions and fees. So now I will say that you will probably get more with Troy. Troy will be showing TradeStation. However, at this point, Troy is still working with 9.5, and TradeStation is not supporting that, and I don't know if you can even get the installation files for 9.5. Everything TradeStation is doing now is TradeStation 10. The rebate program with TradeStation and Troy's stuff is good, but it's still what I have seen is it still doesn't reduce the commissions and fees to the same point that I have on NinjaTrader. So effectively, or it's very similar. So effectively, it's the same thing. I'm getting a reduced rate to pay off my investment in NinjaTrader, and also in Troy's strategies, but I keep that same cost level once I pay those off. Whereas TradeStation, you get the rebate while you pay those off, but then you go back to the higher commission level. I'm going, that's not what I really want. And I already had as I say, I already had a customer relationship with. No, there's not a rebate program with NinjaTrader. It's just that with Interactive Brokers, my commission rates were lower. So with Interactive Brokers, I do end up paying for a data stream, because Interactive Brokers data is not full tick data. It's a filtered data stream. So I use kinetic data. So I'm paying a little bit, a couple $100 a month for that. but you can actually get away with what's like somewhat less than that. You can probably get away with $100, $125 a month there. When I say NinjaTrader is similar, based on my use of interactive brokers, my commission rates are at or slightly below even the rebated rates on TradeStation. So that's basically a wash for me when I look at it. Although actually on the full contract crude, it was like full contract commissions used to be $1.20 on TradeStation, so they'd be 96 cents with the after the rebates, and I'm paying like 75 cents a contract on on interactive brokers. So that's where I'm coming up with that. But the advantage there is I keep getting that lower commission rate on with interactive brokers even after I pay for the other. Well, interactive brokers is the NinjaTrader basically is just the charting platform. I don't use NinjaTrader as my broker, so essentially purchased a lifetime. I purchased a lifetime license to charting platform, and I can use NinjaTrader brokerage. I can use interactive brokers, and there are a few more. It'll actually connect to Schwab, I believe. I don't know if it will work for trading futures or not, but that's something to look into. Because it would also used to connect to TD Ameritrade as well. But those are all possibilities. That's the things you just got to look for your options. Well, no, Fidelity doesn't connect direct to NinjaTrader. With Fidelity, you would have to have a charting platform compatible with Troy's strategy, so either NinjaTrader or TradeStation. But then you'd have to use Fidelity's whatever Fidelity's trading application is to place the trades, and you wouldn't necessarily, you wouldn't have the real-time information of what your positions are and so forth right on the chart, which is what I really like about working with TradeStation as your broker, and with NinjaTrader with either their brokerage or interactive brokers or another broker they connect directly to. But yeah, you can. I personally haven't worked with the Fidelity trading application. I don't know how efficient it is, how easy it is to trade with it. If you're when you're looking at day trading, you want it to be very intuitive and simple to use, so you can get in and out of your trades efficiently. All right, still needing one more trade on crude. Still short. Oh. We picked up another short. We're still in the original short. It's not even on the screen anymore on the pound Aussie in the lower left here. Stop and reverse adjustment to this long trade at 102. Stop and reverse adjustment would have been two pips. 104, key level that to 106. Okay, so yeah, you can still use either one of those as your broker, but you're going to need a trading platform. And I don't know what your cost structure with those is. Have you used that with futures on those platforms, because the equities and futures platforms can be very different on some applications. It really doesn't matter as far as NinjaTrader or TradeStation is concerned. Right. Okay. So you need to look into the futures trading side of it if you're going to be working with the Russell E Mini, obviously. And these are all futures charts with the exception of the pound Aussie forex that I'm showing. And you will, if you're interested in forex, you're going to need a broker for that, for the forex spot market. I know Troy uses a Wanda. I use a Wanda for the forex spot market, and that's a case where we use our chart. I use NinjaTrader. He uses TradeStation charts, and we trade on the Wanda platform to place our trades, either a Wanda or MT4. Actually, we both use MT4 now to trade on Wanda, because we have a trade manager that we've been using for a while. We had one that was working very nicely, and then it just kind of died. Something happened, and they haven't been able to bring it back up yet. Now, forex is definitely not a requirement. It's just another possibility. If you're interested in picking up forex, what you might want to look into is the uh, Spotlight FX alert service, which is based forex. It's all the charts are counterpunch actually, and they run like 7 or 8 charts and on swing trades. So you don't have a day job right now. Okay, let me say this. You're looking, I'm assuming from that comment, you're looking for a day job. So I would say, plan, put your trading together around the idea that you're going to have a day job. So, set up your trade plan so you have the time to trade, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel again when you do get a day job. Or is it your intention to try not to have to get a day job again? So that was what I took from the way you said that. You don't have a day job at the moment, which means you're probably going to have a day job later on. So I approach it with knowing that that's the case and working in that direction. All right, there's a new long. There's your third trade, and we need 18 ticks to get positive. 3 trade max on the crude mini sessions. Actually, that's 11. We are out of the 10 a.m. mini session, so this would be 11 o'clock. The 11 o'clock mini session. This is an add-on trade, but I would definitely take it. It never has stopped out of the original long trade. Choice strategies really don't usually take that long to learn. You should be fairly comfortable with it within a couple of months, I would say, within a month 1 to 2 months. Now, there may be some nuance that you haven't gotten to where you're comfortable and where you know well yet. But yeah, watch for because Sammy usually puts an announcement periodically for Mike's trade room in the general chat on the CTM channel on Discord. So as I say, that'll be a good one if you're intending to work with cloud control. And I usually sit in on that before I open this trade room. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, okay. Start with the mastermind videos first, because that's general knowledge on how to approach their trading business. One of the things we use options is one of the things we use for swing trading primarily, but most of our day trading is primarily done with using NinjaTrader. I'm sorry, and using futures. Just because you have, especially with the micro futures, you've got such flexibility for position sizing and that kind of thing. With a $10,000 account, yeah, you should be able to get started. Risk parameters, we usually recommend not exceeding risk of about 2% of your account size on any one particular trade. I mean, this is not a get rich quick. This is a long term. Use the power of compounding to grow your account, and as the account grows, then you can start taking money out for things you want to do with it. But don't plan on that getting money immediately out of that $10,000. Should be risk capital. Like you should be, if you lose that, you shouldn't make a difference to you, the way you live. You don't want that to be something you're looking for paying the day-to-day bills, at least not initially. All right, crude is long. Unleaded is still short. I'm not unleaded, I'm sorry. Pound Aussie. This is a spotlight trade plan. And let's see. Yeah, there it is. There was a short we set up right there. 8:42. Our start time on the Pound Aussie is 8:30. It's an 8 pip range bar, 8 pip momentum bar for TradeStation. But so 8:42, it got right in. Has been. We had a possible stop and reverse here. I showed you the stop and reverse adjustment with two pips and key level around the 105 level. So 106 kept us out of that. That would have been a stop and reverse to long and then a full stop out on the long. So definitely worked the way it's supposed to there. Kept us in the trade. Subsequent short stopped out. Then we're now in a third short on the calculator, but we're actually working in our original short, which I have marked up with the lines. This is our stop way up here at 113. Money management is first blue line there at 0.068.7. What do you consider the power hour? Yeah, for crude, you run a mini session approach where I trade up to 3 trades in an hour. But the power of quitting is, target 1 and positive, or actually target 1 or target 2, depending on what it comes. 9:30. I don't. Well, the YM Micro Russell both start at 9:30. The trade plans I'm running here, Micro Russell is on Catapult. Micro NQ is on Catapult, but we wait 4 minutes because it can be extremely volatile right at the market open at 9:30. So we wait till like 9:34. Something else, one of the features that TradeStation has that I really wish NinjaTrader did is the ability to set your charts up on exchange times, because the Micro Russell and the Micro NQ are both actually traded out of Chicago. So they're actually on Central Time. So they start at actually 8:30, which is market open for Central Time. Micro Russell, Micro NQ, and the YM. And I believe I believe the agriculture is created out of Chicago. So soybeans is the same way. I can only select one time frame for my charts on NinjaTrader, so I live in the Eastern time zone, and that's what I set for all of mine. But typically, Troy and I, at least Troy and I, will try to refer to times on particular charts in exchange time, so that it doesn't matter where you live, we're all talking about the same time frame. I don't think Mike doesn't have any trade plans that trade starting at 9:30. He does gold. We trades gold starting at 8 o'clock. Eastern, and crude starting at 8:50 Eastern. I don't trade the last hour of the market because I've got other things to do. I'm in and out of the market in the morning, and the afternoons are mine. I have other things to do in the afternoon. But based on the time that you have, that's you're welcome to do those. Think about if you want to trade the close, think about what's going to happen with that if you when you do get a day job. That's going to be a little more difficult. I don't know what part of the where you're located, so that will have some bearing on things. But the 3:30 to 4:30 Eastern time frame is not very conducive if you have a regular job. Okay, so you're in Central Time. So you're looking at Mike is also in Central. He's actually down in the San Antonio, Texas area. But that means the gold trade plan would be 8 a.m. Crude would be 10 minutes till 9. The plans for the Russell typically are market open 8:30 Central. So that's going to be. He actually is not. He's not in town. He's actually in the rural areas around there. But that's the general area where he is. But I lived out in Midland, Texas for 25 years. Been back in North Carolina now for 5. And the other thing you can do is you can build something that works now when you don't have a day job, and you can go ahead and work on trade plans for that you would want to trade outside of your day job hours when you if you do get one while you have time to work on that. Carolinas is a beautiful area. I grew up here in Raleigh, so this is kind of home for me. I spent 36 years here before moving out to Texas, and then spent 25 years there. Oh yeah, they definitely have nice beaches in North Carolina, and you've got Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, which is just over the South Carolina border. But you've got the Outer Banks, you got the beaches in the Sound side, which is really nice because they're somewhat more sheltered. But it's a beautiful area, and my wife and I usually do Christmas down at Clearwater Beach area of Florida on the Gulf Coast. But yeah, if you're interested, visit the North Carolina coast. The nice part about this area is I'm 2.5 hours from the coast, two 2.5 to 3.5, depending on what part of the North Carolina coast you want to go to, or South Carolina. And I'm 3.5 to 4 from the mountains. So that's kind of nice. You got a lot of choices there. I'm 5 hours from DC. You're looking to go to the Smithsonian, to the museums up there, to do various tourist things. I wouldn't want to live there, but there's a lot of interesting things to do on the East Coast. Not terribly long drives. Yeah, my sister actually had lived in the Tampa area since she got out of college until about 6 years ago, and then she and her husband, her two kids, are grown and gone now, and so she and her husband moved up into the North Carolina mountains. About 45 minutes to an hour from outside of Asheville. I haven't done much with Sarasota area. We've got some good friends who are from Florida who are in process of moving there out to Kansas, closer to family. Yeah, that's a nice area. All right, crude coming back down below the entry. Stop on the original trade. They're both in their 80s, and she's having mobility issues, so that's why they're wanting to get closer to family. So in case something happens to him, she's closer to family that can help out a little bit. But yeah, looks like stop on the prior trades at 49. Add-on looks like it's coming back to test the 20 SMA again, simple moving average. This micro Russell trade, this is not this is a done for you trade plan, but it's actually an evening trade plan. But I'd use it as an example here. It's on Catapult, but this trade is set for target 3 is our typical goal. Entry and stop. 14, we use a 14 tick minimum. This one's 15. We got just a little bit of a wick on this trade, so it's standard. That did trigger in. This is outside of trade plan because this trade plan finished much earlier today. Target 1 is just money management on this plan. I'm not trading the Russell right now, but since you're interested in it, that was the micro Russell M2K is a trade plan that I typically run in the room here. But we're well beyond the normal trade plan on that now. You just happened to show up a trade. I thought that you would be interested in that since you were looking at the Russell E-mini as a possibility. This is on this is a Catapult trader using a 1.5 point brick with a 0.5 point offset, custom Renko. Oh, absolutely. This may not be the plan that you were looking at. Okay, it just hit money management, so our stop would come to break even. Entry plus 1 tick. Entry was 052, so the stop will come to 053. And we did just stop out for a break even. We do move the stop to break even intra-bar. Everything else happens at the close of the bar. Yeah, pound Aussie testing the 200 EMA, that purple line down there, exponential moving average. The lines I have on the chart, purple, and I am very consistent with the colors of my lines, or at least I try to be. The purple line is the 200 EMA. The goldenrod is the 50 EMA. The royal blue, or straight blue, is the 20 simple moving average. On the micro Russell chart, the lavender line is the 14 EMA, and the cyan line is the 22 EMA, which that trade plan uses as a filter for trades. And we have a stop and reverse. That's going to be at 47. $49, move it 2 ticks. That actually would be just an exit point, because this would be the third trade. That would end the third trade. Actually, this would not, this for the 11 o'clock session, this is just second trade. So we'll see where this goes. No, not this. Troy typically doesn't use the RSI or MACD. We've used the cloud, Ikimoku cloud in cloud control, but primarily EMAs are the only other things that we use. And then the balance line, signal line, catapult line, they're all the same. And that's balance line for spotlight is, I use that green dotted. And you'll see that on pound Aussie and you'll see the catapult lines are this green and red. Solid is the fast line, the red is the slow, because those are looking for crosses to set up trades. So it looks like we did reverse to short. This is being a difficult session. Stop ones first. Before I move that target, that's not the line I wanted. This one. Target 1. And this will be target 2. If you're interested in that trade plan, yeah, that would be fine. I would look on the cloud control site, and I think there's a Russell trade plan there as well. But I I definitely, even if you're starting with that, go through the 12 steps on that plan, because you need to build a confidence in that plan that you will not have unless you go through those steps. Until you go through the fast test, the UTA back testing, and the 25 trades in a row without a mistake in sim, and then minimum trade size, you need those to build your confidence so that you not the first time you run into a drawdown, you're not going to quit. You need to understand the big picture before you get buried in the individual trades. You're looking for statistical advantage over the long term to make you money. So once you find a trade plan that makes you money over the long term, it's going to have losses, but you got to be willing to take those losses and have enough belief in the trade plan that you're going to take those losses and wait for it to start getting some winners again and come back to equity highs. It's the Ikimoku cloud is a whole different animal. Uh, Bollinger Bands, the squeeze zone, actually, if you go back to Counterpunch, is a Bollinger Band squeeze. That's based on the Bollinger Band coming inside the Keltner channel. I will say that Catapult tends to give smaller trades overall than some of the others, so you end up having to do larger bars to get the kind of size trades you're wanting to see. You know, that part of those the 3-step sniff test is: are there enough trades? Are they of sufficient size so that you can trade efficiently with minimal drawdown? Are there enough trades? Are there sufficient size? And is it appropriate for the time frame that you have that you're going to be able to trade? These live sessions are open to the public, but the easiest way to find them is just go on the Backpack Trader uh, YouTube channel, and I'll post the schedule for the following week after today's trade room. I'll post next week. So the trade room sessions for the following for the current week will always be posted on as scheduled in the YouTube channel. Now the Mike's room is specific link. It's a Zoom. It's done in Zoom, and the link is only distributed within either the CT CEO Mastermind group or the Cloud Control group. Cloud Control Ownership or CEO Trader Mastermind. Yeah, you should. And that, as I say, it gets posted periodically in the general chat in the CTM Discord. You'll want to get on the Discord. It keeps a nice stream of information. All right. There we go with target 1 finally on pound Aussie. So target 2 will be our next goal. We use all 4 targets and the trailer on this trade plan. And it's going to go to money management. Our money management on this one is going to be, let's see, 834. Yeah, that's 83 is where it came to, but that's this trade plus 1. The balance line is at 834, so that's going to go to 85.4. That'll be 86. So yeah, that'll be the one tick below. So that's going to come to 3086. That's where our stop is now. Well, when that starts moving down, actually probably this time, it's like, yeah, 795. Yeah, we're going to move down to at least 82 this one. So we'll start following this dot, which is the trailer on the pound Aussie. Target 2 is way down here at 50.056. Crude hanging around the entry again. I don't trade. No, 6 charts at the same time is way too much to try to trade actively at day trading. I try to have no more than 1 or 2 charts active at any given time. I have basically 3 trade plans that I trade daily, but they have staggered start times, so I'm not trading them all at once. I'm not usually trading more than 2 at a time. Most of the time, just 1. I run 6 or 7 different example charts in the trade room just as a training tool, because that's different people were wanting to run different strategies and different different instruments. So I run different things in the trade room, but I certainly do not try to trade all of them. No, yeah, I'm not trying to trade all 6 of those. Those are 6 different examples of things that you can use Troy's systems to trade. But I try to follow them, in the trade room. But as you'll notice, I'm definitely getting behind on picking up trades from time to time, and that's because you can't divide your attention onto that many charts and stay, as focused as you need to be. So, start with, when you're learning to trade this kind of stuff, start with 1 chart, focus on that. That is your trade plan, period. Don't try to do other things. Because trying to do other things will just get you in trouble. All right, there you see, pound Aussie has closed another bar down, and We moved the stop down to 81. And we're coming close to 56. We got down as low as 58. So within 2.21 ticks, 2.1 pips. Crude came down close to money management. That little dot, first little dot. Now back up to the entry again. Oh, that was quick. I wasn't that. There's a case of it. I wasn't watching that chart, the micro Russell, because I was focused on the other charts. That came up with a trade. I should have been in, or had I been trading, it should have been in. Target 3 is our goal there. So that has gone through money management. Target 1 was 15 ticks. So that meets our 14 tick minimum to come to break even or to start trailing. Okay. Balance line is at 746, 77. Looks like the next stop move on the pound Aussie, we're not going to get up above the balance line on the close of this bar. This is a 8 pip or 80 tick range bar. All right, there's a move down on the micro Russell trade. This is, as I say, these are trades after the trade plan is complete. So I wouldn't be trading them this time of day. Just showing you examples. All right, pound Aussie getting close to target 2. We got down to 56.8, 8 ticks away, less than a pip. The trade plan on the micro Russell is 4. We go 4 wins, 3 losses, or 6 trades maximum. And we hit our 3 losses this morning. Actually, pretty quickly. We hit 3 losses in like the first 5 minutes. Starts at 8:30 Central, and then is 4. We take trades till we either have 4 wins and positive, or 3 losses, or 6 trades maximum. Most days that trade plan goes to six trades. We don't. Some days it goes to 3 losses, but most days it'll go to 6 trades. I don't see 4 wins that often. We usually have a couple of break even, 2 or 3 break evens in there, or 1 loss, or what have you. 3 wins is not terribly unusual, but 4 is it. Getting the 4 wins is not real common. Yes, exactly. So the power quitting rules for each of the strategies are a little different. This is a custom strategy. That's what its power quitting rules are. Crude, gold target, win, and positive is all crude needs for the mini sessions, or 2 losses, 2 full losses. With stop and reverses that go halfway, I'll continue to the 3rd trade, but 3 trades maximum in the hourly mini sessions, 9, 10, 11, and possibly a 1 o'clock that goes to 2:30. I don't usually trade the 11 o'clock, but since we were in this and having a good discussion, carrying it on a little bit. All right, there's the move down, looks like 76. Yeah. And Michael Russell has moved down. That little hash is the hash mark is the stop. I've changed it on that chart. I haven't changed it on the pound Aussie chart. So that's our trailing stop. That's where you'd have your stop order placed. Personally, I would probably move just the one position stop on that target 2 position back to target 1, down to target 1. I'm not going to let it come all the way back to the trailer. The trailer's actually getting fairly close to target 1 now. Looks like target 1 is 69, so it's seven pips above target 1. Yeah, in fact, basically, we have a hard stop time usually. It's between 11 and noon on most of these trade plans, but most often they'll hit their 5 or 6 trade max or whatever number of trades it is, 3, 5, 6, before the hard stop time. But stop times also can be a function of when you're available. And crude trade still short, got down to the entry again. It's hanging around the 50-cent level. Micro Russell did stop out, not targets 3 and 4. Those are our goal targets where we take some profit. That's as set up. It's a 3-position plan. Targets 3, 4, and trail. It doesn't mean that's what you have to trade. But stopped out right here at 017. Looks like we're going to, for the moment anyway, we're going to stay at 76. And there is another possible stop and reverse to long. So that entry is 56. Stop and reverse would take us to 58. 2-tick adjustment. Try to keep us in the original trade. So I leave everything for the original trade except the entry. See where that is. So that'll be the 58 level. All right, looks like we're going to get across the long rather, on this down closed bar, which means we're not going to set up a trade. But that means that when it crosses back, yeah. And now on this bar, it will cross back. The fast line will cross below the short line again, and this will set up a new short trade on the Micro Russell. The micro Russell uses this is just particular trade plan uses Renko bars. Some of the Russell plans use range bars as well. This micro NQ trade plan uses a considerably larger Renko custom Renko bar. That's also on Catapult. But I'm using range bars on the Spotlight and the counterpunch charts. Soybeans is on the counterpunch strategy. Those are the three strategies I'm running currently in the trade room. As I say, I got to basically completely reload my platform to sort out reloading, getting the cloud control indicators reloaded on it. It's not necessary. Any of the trade plans can use Renko bars. It's basically whatever you do your testing with. You know, you can test with Renko bars. You can test with range bars. You can test with whatever bars you want. But these are the bars that we have found on these particular plans work the best. Now there are other plans on the Russell with range bars that work very nicely. Spotlight actually works. I would say Spotlight works better with range bars than with Renko bars. But Catapult seems to work quite well with Renko bars. All right. Looking like move down to 70, probably 73. Coming on the pound Aussie. See, our balance line is at 71.1. So that'll round to 71, trailing 2 ticks above the balance line, would put us at 73. And since we're at the low of the bar is at 61.1, so 69.1 would be the close. And that's going to be well below the balance line, so we will move down to 73 probably. That's kind of how they work. Russell had another short trade. This one needed to move 1 tick below target 1 money management to come break even, which it did, and on this bar, and then came back up, and we would have stopped out for break even intra bar. The calculator won't show that stop marker until it closes the bar. Most likely, unfortunately, right now, Troy's regular schedule is against some things I've got going. Saturdays I'm off. Usually, I have a lot of busy weekends, and Tuesday I have a conflict with his normal office hours. So Tuesdays and Saturdays is normally when the office hours and cloud control trainings are. So that's right now. I'm not making a lot of his lives, but I will definitely be there when I can. And there was the move I was expecting on the pound Aussie, down to 73, getting close to. Didn't come back up all the way to target 1, so even if I had moved the position stop, just the one position stop, because we only taken one target off at this point. So you got 4 positions still in play on that trade plan. So I would just move one position stop up to target 1 or down to target 1, and still the remaining would still be at the 73. Now that it's only 4 pips, I probably would put them back all together. But we're getting really close to that 50, getting within a pip of 56 again. 3 ticks, 2 ticks. And we got within 2 ticks of target that time. But this trade has been running since 8:40 something this morning. And it's now 11:53. Oh, that's what the live sessions and the trader rooms are for, is answering questions. That's why we're here. And there we did get target 2. No, we didn't. We missed it by a tick. 56.1. If it gets down there again, I definitely would be looking at closing that position out. Don't fight over 1 or 2 ticks and risk all the way back to wherever the stop is on that position. Close out that position and move on. But we've been going here for 2.5 hours this morning. Right at it. So I'm going to call it a morning at this point. We did stop and reverse back to long. So have a good one, Jay, and we will hopefully, and everybody else, we will see you again. I will be back in here again Tuesday morning at 9:30. Regular sessions Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. As of next week, that will be 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go through a time change this weekend. So we will see everybody next Tuesday. Have a good weekend and good trading.